this is Lady Lex UK and this is a Dreams tutorial. I've been asked, how do you put sheet music into Dreams? Now, before I start on this tutorial, let me just have a quick word with you about copyright. It is possible to put sheet music into Dreams. You don't actually need the sheet music to do it. You can just do it by ear and play other people's music in Dreams, do covers in Dreams. Now, it isn't actually okay to do that. Copyright is there to protect the composers and the musicians of music, and a cover version without you paying the license fee to actually perform that music is technically theft. Now, we've all done it, myself included. I love doing cover versions of songs and things, and I have put some in Dreams. I have removed some that I've already done that I did in early access, and I'm no longer making cover versions of things in Dreams as much as I would like to, because I want to be on the right side of the law. Now, there is an easy rule for you to remember about copyright, and people think it's a confusing subject and it's ambiguous and all the rest of it. Right, let's make it nice and easy. There's something called public domain. Public domain is when the copyrights have run out. They're not there in perpetuity. Most copyrights, they last something like 100 years or 50 years, depending on the country and whatever. However, there is something that you can go by, and that's the 1924 rule. This year, most things became out of copyright if they were made in 1924 or before. So any recordings, any compositions, they're all available to you in the public domain. So you'd be okay to make a cover version of anything that was written before 1924. So things like Scott Joplin, The Entertainer, various rags and things like that. That's all freely available. All music hall songs, classical music, all of that is totally available. Hymns, traditional songs, things like Danny Boy and all of that. That's all available for you to use and put into Dreams. Make cover versions of, sing on, anything you want to do. That's perfectly fine. However, people get confused because they think, okay, I've got a piece of Mozart I'd like to have in my game. They take a recording that was done by the New York Philharmonic and they record it and put it into Dreams and think, that's fine, I'm covered, it's old, it's Mozart. That's not true. The recording was made after 1924 and the New York Philharmonic will have the copyright claim on that because that's their work. That's their recording, and therefore you can't just put it in. If, however, you took some sheet music of Mozart and transposed it note by note into Dreams using the Dreams instruments, that's perfectly fine. You can do that, and that piece of music is a cover of a piece of music by Mozart, and it's fine because it was made before 1924. So there are other pieces of music that are copyright free that were written after 1924, pieces of music that are written specifically to be in the public domain and available. YouTube has a huge list of pieces of music that is listed as copyright free. However, here is a word of warning. The composer of this music can at any time change their mind about how free they want that music to be. And also, free from copyright does not necessarily mean that you can't be slapped with cease and desist if you use it. A lot of this music is only copyright free if you use it for personal use. And things like YouTube, it's not really counted as personal use anymore because it is a professional concern. There are people that make a living making YouTube videos. So immediately these pieces of music, it gets a little bit ambiguous. And things like YouTube music, I had a situation where I used a piece that was copyright free and then the composer changed their mind, and then I got slapped with a copyright claim. So these things can happen. So just play it safe. Don't put any recordings into Dreams unless it was made before 1924, and then you're safe. Right, so having said all of that, let's get on with the tutorial. So we're going to go into new element and scene. I'm going to delete the floor, and we're going to go into sound mode. I'm putting our music timeline. And I'm going to record, I've got a piece of sheet music here, it's Bach, it's a minuet. We're going to transpose that into Dreams. And we can do it in any instrument we like. I'm going to pick a keyboard instrument. I'm going to pick a soft piano to put in. You can always change your mind afterwards. And I'm going to show you now how the notes relate to the spaces on the piano roll. Now, you're going to need to be able to read sheet music. If at this point in the tutorial you've got that and you don't know what a minim is, a crotchet, a quaver, what the notes on the staves all are, you're not going to understand any of this, and it's not for you. So, bye! So this is for the people who actually can read music. We're just going to show you what the differences are. But so we see that piece of music, and it's in 3/4 time, waltz time, and default for Dreams is 4/4. So we want to change that. It's the first thing we want to do. So we'll go L1 and square, and we're going to go into the second page, and here's the meter, numerator, and denominator. So the numerator is 3. Denominator is quarter note, so that's a 4. So now we've changed it to 3/4. So that's what we want. Now before we go into our instrument, you can see on the timeline, you can see it's divided up now into 3. If I was to go back and put that back to 4, there we go, it's 4 segments. So you can see these are the notes that we're going to be having, and that they're quarter notes. Okay, so 3 crotchets in the 3/4 time. So let's open up our piano with L1 and X and go into piano roll mode. Okay. So that's where we want our note to be. As you can see, this is divided up. If I pull out, you can just about see it. It's very faint. I wish they had done this so it was much easier to see, but it is all very faint, and you've got that transparency behind the timeline as well to contend with. And this is all very faint. It would be better if they were a bit bolder. Maybe they had colours coming down as or shading coming down as well as across. It would certainly help, but they haven't, so we have to put up with it. Okay, so I'm going to draw some notes. So our first 3 notes on our piece of music is D, D, D. So I'm going to go into Tools, Draw Notes. I'm going to find my D, which is here, and draw my note. And again. So there's my 3 crotchets. Then it goes B, and then A, B, G. So B, A, B, G. Then it's A. Whoops. I did that too long. That's A, D, A, D, C, B for 2, A, whoops, A, and then we've got a long load of notes. A, and then D. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm going up to this so that's D, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So D, C, B, A, G, and then E, C, B, A, G, then F sharp, E, D, F sharp, and then G for the 3. Right, so let's listen to that then. There we go. So it's as simple as that. So that's our first line. I meant to close that one, not that one. There we go. So that's our piano line, and then we would put the bass in. Now I don't read the treble clef, so what's that? G. I'm not very good at this. I think that's G. So we'll put it down. I think it's G, E. I'm not sure. No, G, F sharp, G, F sharp, D. I think. It's something like that then. But anyway, that's how you go about it. You would put in your different notes. I'm not going to teach you how to draw notes and things on here, but it's basically you hold down, draw notes, you just hold down with the R2 and stretch it along. And if you make it the note too long, you can either rewind and do it again, which is easier, or come out. Whoops. Come out of it, and then you can stretch it and move it along like this. So make use of these lines. So these are your bars. These are your notes. And if you want more notes, then obviously you change the time signature. This will only give you half. So if you've got so that is a crotchet. Sorry, that's a crotchet. That's a quaver. That's a semi-quaver. You can do half again, but any smaller than a semi-quaver, and you're going to have an issue. But I don't think most pieces of music that's not going to be an issue at all. So that's how you do it. So that's our whole note. That's half a note. That's a quarter note. A quarter of that, and then a quarter of that. There we go. So it's quite easy to do. There we go. So that's how you convert sheet music into the timeline. It takes a bit of practice to do, and it can be a bit time consuming. I will just find you a piece of music that I made. Here is a piece of music that I did from a piece of sheet music, which is Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. That's in the public domain, and it sounds like this. There we go. So you too can put in classical music and make it your own in dreams. Enjoy yourself, and I'll catch you in your dreams.